All right, so if you had told me 10 years ago when I came to Canada that I'd be planning road trips and family getaways, honestly, I don't do a lot of the planning. I just dictate where I want to go and then my husband does the planning. But, same idea. But if you told me that that's where it would be, I'd have laughed out loud, right? But because we were just trying to survive in the beginning, but something shifted. And in this episode, I'm going to be sharing why we started traveling, how we changed our family, and how you can start exploring without breaking the bank. And trust me, this one is for every newcomer family trying to build memories without maxing out any credit cards, maybe without even having to use a credit card to begin with. Hi there, welcome back. My name is Anita Adefuye. And I am over the last couple weeks I've been doing a series on my 10-year reflection in Canada because this year, March 15th, marked 10 years for me in Canada. And in today's episode, I will be talking about why we started traveling and how you can start and what it's done for us as a family without breaking the bank. All right. So yes, like I said earlier in the beginning, you're just in survival mode. Travel feels like a luxury that you can afford, but over time, you start to realize that there has to be more to your life, and especially if you're not a lot of the party kind of person, right? You want something that's just kind of like a shared bond for you and your family, and especially your kids, and you want to build all these memories with them because if there's something being in Canada teaches you is that at best you have 18 years with these kids. At best, you have 18 years with them. Um, they'll leave home, go to school somewhere else, work, whatever, right? And yeah, so you just want to build the best with them while you still have them. So I believe that for us, it wasn't like one big moment as it were, per se, but I remember, like, when the kids were little, the best we would do, which is what a lot of people do for travel, and it's not bad. Okay, it's not bad. It's always better than nothing. Is that we would visit family. So I have a cousin who lives out in Calgary, and would visit them on Christmas, over Christmas and or Easter or whatever. And so we had gone to visit this one Christmas, and most times we just stay home and just chill with the family. We might go maybe one or two places here or there, but nothing fancy, nothing out of the ordinary, right? And my husband got a job working in a credit union, and by virtue of that job, he would travel to all these different and amazing places within Saskatchewan. And then he'll come back, he's telling me all these stories, and he's like, oh my God, this place is so beautiful. I didn't even think I was in Saskatchewan. Why? Because everything everybody knows about Saskatchewan is the flatlands. And yes, we have a lot of flatlands. And yes, we have the most beautiful skylines you would ever see, right? But there were aspects of the province that he would go and come back and tell me of. Now, naturally, I love traveling. I love traveling. Naturally, I love traveling, right? And so oftentimes we'll try to see if we can make it work. When he's going, we go together, but it just never aligned. And with time, would have people travel and then make all this case around Saskatchewan is boring, Regina is boring. And when you're trying to make a case, I like to make cases. When I want to make a case for something or someone, I like to gather my facts. And I remember one of those times thinking, I can't even say anything about a province that I've never even seen beyond Regina, right? Or at best Saskatoon. I need to be able to know what exactly am I defending here. And so we thought, okay, maybe we'll try and do a couple travels here and there within the province. It was, for the most part, it felt like it was all we could afford. And so we made that decision. We were happy, we were excited. Every holiday or summer, we'd at least try and visit somewhere. Long holidays, we'll go somewhere. And we wanted to start doing that. So for the first time, I think my husband and I did our anniversary in Moose Jaw. It was nice, it was beautiful. And we wanted to incorporate more of that with the kids, and then pandemic happened. So now everybody was home. We couldn't even go anywhere anymore. Now the pandemic itself now became the validation we needed. That, see, if we had traveled to places, we wouldn't be here at home feeling like, oh my God, we'll never leave. Like, what if this is it? Right? And then you say you came to Canada and you lived in Saskatchewan, and that's it. Like, that can't be it. That's not how this story ends. But anyway, so it wasn't like one big moment of like, oh my God, we need to travel more. This was it. That was it. All right. And so when the pandemic hit, we were like, okay, you know what? Once they lift the ban on travels and all of that, we will be really more intentional. And so the first thing we started doing was we opened up a different account for ourselves where we started putting travel money. All right, we started putting travel money. We may not even know where we're going, but we just kind of put a little way, in there, and we just put money in there and say, okay, this is our travel budget. Now, at the end of the year, we might also, like, when we're now planning, 2020, of course, whatever plans we had went out the door, but we're still saving up the money. And then in 2021, towards the end of 2021, we're planning. We now put, as part of our family plan, we started putting on the travels and what we wanted to do, where we wanted to go. And then we came up with a goal. You'll pray for us. And the goal was that by the time our daughter, who's the oldest, is leaving the house when she's 18, we would have visited at least one country in every continent with her, and at least a city in every province in Canada. I don't know about the territories yet. Maybe we'll add them on. But at least the provinces. There are 10 provinces and 3 territories in Canada. But at least the 10 provinces, we would have been to at least one city in each of those provinces. So y'all pray for us. All right, so that's the plan that we eventually came up with, and then we started working towards that plan. Now, like I said, you don't have to break the bank to do that. It can even be something as simple as we're traveling to Calgary, for instance, and we plan to do a stop in, let's say, Lloydminster, right? That way, on our way to Calgary, we can do maybe one night in Lloydminster, just see Lloydminster a little bit, see what it's like. When someone's talking about Lloydminster, you can't say you've never been, right? Just see what you can see there, and then we move on to wherever we're going. So that's sort of how we started doing it. All right, or why we started traveling, rather. That's why we started traveling. Now, here's the interesting thing. During the pandemic, I interviewed for a job, right? In the peak of this, after we had made this decision, I interviewed for a job with Tourism Saskatchewan. How ironic. And one of the things they asked me was, do you love travel? Of course, I love travel. And I had to say, and they asked me and said, how many places have you been to in Saskatchewan? How many places have I been to in Saskatchewan? So I guess add that to the reason why we started traveling too. But anyway, at this point, we made the decision. So I said, I counted at that time. Funny thing, I'd been to Moose Jaw, I'd been to Ep.7, I'd been to Saskatoon, I'd been to, that was it. Moose Jaw, Ep.7, Saskatoon, and of course I live in Regina. So I mentioned all of that, but then I also told them about all the places my husband had been to. And I said that actually sparked my interest in traveling. And I told them about our plans to travel and where we had planned to go that year, that 2020 summer. We had planned to do PA, we had planned to do a couple places in Saskatchewan, and I mentioned all that, and they were pretty impressed, right? And I talked about some other places that we had looked at. For real, we had looked at those places as options, Cypress Hills and all of that, as options of where we wanted to go and why we picked those places as well. I shared that. Of course, I got that job, right? And I stayed in that job for about 2 years, and then I left. But even being there made our resolve stronger that we wanted to travel and travel more. And how can you not want to know about the country you've moved to? At the very least, right? And why would you hold a Canadian passport and not use it to travel? All right, so let me tell you quickly about the importance of travel for my family and what it has helped us do. Number one, no-brainer bonding. All right, no-brainer bonding. When you're stuck in a car for 5 hours, 6 hours, 7 hours, trust me, you will talk, you'll laugh, you'll argue, you'll grow, you'll cry, you'll yell, you do all kinds of things. You'll do all sorts. You'll play games. A lot of I Spies that I have played, and I'm like, man, people, it's Saskatchewan. There's only one thing to spy. There's literally one thing to spy: open roads and green grass. But that's not all true. There are places in Saskatchewan that's not flatlands per se. All right. But you bond, you get the picture, right? So that has really helps. Like my husband and I would just will talk about things and, all the things that, people talk about. The second thing is learning. All right. You begin to learn different things about Canada and if you travel outside of Canada. So for us, what we do is, or what we try to do is, um, we do like local trip. Local trip is something within Saskatchewan, and then we try to plan like a national trip, which is within Canada, and then we try to do outside Canada. So the goal is technically 3 trips a year. That's the goal. Is it always the case? Not necessarily, but for the most part, we tend to actually even, in fact, since we set this rule, we've been able to somehow achieve that since then. 2021 we didn't do any international, but 2022 we did, 2023 we did, 2024 we did, 2025 are we going to? We'll see. I'll let you know. You will know about this if we do. All right. And so bonding and then learning and all of that, and then healing for a lot of us as immigrants, and um let me go back to learning a bit. All right, learning about, like, for me, I'm in Saskatchewan, learning about the prairies, learning about the different areas, the history as well, indigenous pieces of it, indigenous history, right? The kids have learned geography, history, empathy from all these different trips, and the exposure that it gives, right? So that's the third thing that is really done for our family is exposure. It exposes you to, even sometimes the mindsets of how the land came to be, what people were thinking, the vision. It's almost like you can go back in time and envision with people what they had in mind when they built the places, the cities, and all of that, and why they did what they did, right? So all of these different things is what it has really helped us do and achieve as a family. And then healing. For a lot of us as immigrants, travel can become a way to reclaim your joy. It can help you relieve stress, and it can help you connect together as a family, right? So it's not just about going to a destination. Be present with each other. For you as adults especially, find your childlike joy. Don't be like one of our travel partners who sometimes, not sometimes, he never does anything. Even take picture for us, he will not agree. You know yourself. Yes, I'm calling you out. You know yourself. Anyway, right. I'm not sure why I'm being very petty right now. All right, so budget ways to travel. So my kids are this year 12 and 9, and I'll tell you some of the things we were doing when they were little and what we're doing now, okay? Well, it's not, maybe I'll do that one first. Okay, so when our kids were little, now first of all, I don't think I like a lot of the traveling when they're not aware yet. I don't think I like that much because now, for instance, we have to redo Calgary and redo many of the things we've done in Calgary because they were too little to remember. So my recommendation for people who have little kids, my recommendation for your family travel right now is one of two things. Either you and your husband do a lot of travels on your own, where you go to places that if you were going, you would probably never go with the kids. Do those kinds of trips now. Your Paris, your love destinations, your adults only kind of cruises and all of that. If you want to do those kind of things, do them now when the kids are little or before they come. Do those ones. And then when they're born, do more of family destination kind of trips where it's like you're going to visit family and you're not going to be doing a lot of run around or sightseeing or touring and all of that. Do those ones for when they can't remember a lot. That way you build your extended family bond, but you still travel, you still distress and all of that. You take pictures so you have proof in case you never go back, right? And then as they start to get aware, then you do more of the real bonded one. But when our kids were babies and we'll do some of those family type trips, we actually even really did one or two of those at that time. What we'll do is when we're doing road trips, we do travel at night. Okay, travel at night, it's easier, it's better. By the time you feed them well and then you put them in the car, if they're in diaper wearing stage, they put on their diapers and you hit the road. By the time they're maybe getting up for water or they need to pee or whatnot, you're probably halfway there, right? So that's one thing we did, and it's been really helpful. And then as they start to get older, you want to pack up a lot of snacks, a lot of food options just in case. So cereals, bread, spreads, those are your best friends because you don't know what you're going to find where you're going if they don't like the food and all of that. It might take them a while to adjust as well, or even their systems. So you want to make sure you pack a lot of that and then you help them ease into it as they start to get older. Now they're at an age where it's fun for them to travel, right? And here's the thing, so when they also grow up getting used to traveling, as they grow older, it doesn't feel stressful for them. I hear some people say their kids don't want to sit in the car for too long. Ours are, they've grown up with it, so they're used to it now. They've grown up now traveling, and they're sort of used to it. So yeah. All right, so some of the budget friendly ways that you can travel, and this is some of the things that what we are doing. So we didn't win the lottery. When people say something like, "Oh my God, you guys travel a lot," yeah, this is what we're doing, and this is how. All right, so number one, travel plan off seasons. Okay, we tried our best to travel off peak times. All right, that way you get cheaper hotels, less traffic, fewer crowds in key places that you want to visit, and those places too, they don't mark up the price. It's not as expensive. The downside to that is depending on where you're going to, it might be colder. So for instance, if we're traveling, say September, it means you're probably pulling kids out of school for a bit there. And or like I know when we went to Orlando for my husband's 40th, it was crazy because it was school season, but there was still a lot of crowd. But we were also told it wasn't as bad because we came in that season and it was a full day's job, right? So off peak seasons, cheaper hotels, less traffic, but the weather might not be as favorable as if you're going in summer or anything like that. I like fall travels better because it's, especially if I'm doing like within Canada, I like fall better because it's not as cold, it's not as hot, right? I like those better, but it's also like the start of school and you're pulling kids out of school. But I mean, we don't mind doing that, okay? And then two is use points and rewards as much as possible. So credit card points, LMI points, hotel rewards. This thing sounds little, but they add up. All right, they add up, they add up, they add up. So use your points and rewards as much as possible. We are a family that do more of our, we use PC, so we do more of our points on the use of our credit card, and then we can use that to like buy groceries or buy other things. um Air miles not as much because the air travels we do is like at best once or twice a year, so not as much for those ones. And then wherever you can, drive instead of fly. Now I like driving instead of flying when I can more, because that's where a lot of that bonding really happens, things to happen, because you get there slower and then you can sort of control your own time. That's another reason why I like driving. You can control your own time. You can do a couple pit stops here and there. Like there's no rush, right? I like to just take my time to go. It's why we need remote jobs so that we can just up and go whenever we want. All right, especially with kids too. It's cheaper too when you have a lot of kids, and it can be more fun. All right, so when you can, drive instead of fly, or drive some ways and then fly the rest, whatever works, right? And then pack food. There are trips we've gone on, we have packed the whole lots, like jollof rice, we'll fry the meat, sauce it very well, and then hope that we'll find microwave fruits. And then that way what happens is that you spend less money on trying to eat out every time. And if like somebody was hungry before it was lunch or before it was supper, you can have something to eat without having to buy things every time, right? So if you're buying your things and then you're traveling with them whenever you can, it's easier for you to just sort of have things to eat on the go. And sometimes, depending on what it is or where we go, we always, when we have to stay in hotels, we always find options with breakfast included, right? We always find options with breakfast included. That way what happens is that by the time you eat breakfast, you have all your snacks and stuff that can just sort of something you hold up onto for lunch, and you're really just buying supper, right? So those are some of the little tips and tricks that we've been using to just really help us do this. And then stay smart, okay? Look for budget friendly hotels, Airbnb deals, and or if you can't, stay with friends. All right, stay with family and friends. That way you get to connect with your friends and your family, but just be nice and mindful, like buy little things, buy some groceries when you're going, you know um clean around the house with them, don't make a mess, the whole works. Sometimes cook, offer to cook, or join to cook, things like that. All right. And then, so be smart. All right, be smart with that. And then find as many free activities as you can as possible. And here's the thing, so if you're traveling within Canada as a newcomer, a lot of people may not know this. As a newcomer, if you're traveling within Canada, you have like, there's this Canada pass that they give. I forget the exact name. I'll probably find out, put in the description box. But our current Prime Minister Marcani also sort of like we approve this differently, where I think for the summer, kids going to all the spaces for free, museums, historical sites, and all of that. The goal is to really just build their education in history, and learn more about Canada and all of that. So, and Canada has a lot of nice hidden gems. A lot of the museums around, you actually don't even have to pay to go in. They do donation based. There are some of them that you might need to pay, but there are others that, like, for the value you're getting, it's very minimal too, right? And there are others that it's just free, or you donate whatever you want. So find those kinds of places and go there, all right? And like I said, that's where you're paying into your travel accounts, beforehand, helps, because you can, as the year ends, you're looking at how much you have in that account. You can project to say, okay, here's what this can give us. If you have some money you're expecting later in the year that you want to put into a bigger trip, you can do that, right? So sometimes find that. Now, sometimes some of the less stressful ways to also travel is using tour companies or tour buses, right? It might be a little more marked up than if you were to go on your own, but it eliminates the stress of looking for where to go, how to get there, and all of that. There's less control of your time, however, in those ones, right? So we have done, like within Saskatchewan, we've done some travels on our own, and we've used a very amazing tour bus company. We've also used them to travel to the US, but not this year. Nobody's going to the US this year. Right? No Canadian is going to the US this year. I joke, please do you, all right? But also remember, solidarity to your country. But we've used, I'll put that link in the description, right? We've used them to a couple places, and it was amazing. It was amazing, amazing, amazing. Very professional. You get to meet other people. You're not driving. You can sleep and wake up. You're not worrying about mapping out where do we need to go, how much do we need to pay, because they've taken all that stress away. So there's budget-friendly way to travel. There's stress-free way to travel as well. All right. And then when we are traveling with our kids, it becomes an opportunity to teach them about different things and different places, and it becomes like a learning moment as well. Right, so you also want to use that to teach them too that travel is not just about luxury, right? It's about togetherness, it's about building the memories, so whether it's a picnic in the park or a hike in the woods. We have not done hike in the woods, and we have not done what's that popular camping. All right, by the way, if anybody knows any nice camping places or glamping places, please share with me in the comments. I'm sure there are others who might be interested as well. All right, so share with me as well. But whatever it is that we're doing, it's that the moments that we're spending together, that's the important part of it. And so yeah, but it's been really, really, really rewarding, I would tell you that. So why do we travel? Is just so that we're not just living in Canada, we are experiencing Canada. Oh, let me also say this. Even in Regina, we go to places. We intentionally go to places in Regina. When I hear people say there's nothing to do in Regina, Regina is boring, right? If we hear a new place has opened, we go. We've been to Get Air Activate, the Wascana Pool, the Science Center, the museum. You know what's crazy? We've never been to RCMP Heritage Center. We've not done the Government House tour. We've done the Ledge tour. We've been to like the Wascana parks and trails, some of the trails at least, and all of that. We sometimes visit restaurants because tourism and all of that is not just the places you're visiting, but also getting to experience local food there as well. So sometimes we go to the restaurants as well, just to get a different feel of different things. We go to like neighboring places that it's outside Regina, but it doesn't really feel like outside Regina. So I'm talking like Lumsden and all that. They have this really great farm to table type restaurant there. The Forks, it's really great. If you're not being issued, okay, that one won't break your back for sure. And you don't have to spend the night there. You can literally just do a day trip to Lumsden, look around, play around. Same with places like Mustard. You can literally do a day trip to those places, play around, look around. Those are some of the budget friendly ways too, is finding places to do day trips, right? All right, so and then so yeah, you can, it's really about connection and healing, and then also what works for your schedule too, and what works for your budget, right? Now if you're doing more of like the international trips, those take a lot more time to plan. We try to target doing at least one every year, and the goal is to do like alternate years where The cheaper ones are the ones where you're doing like North America or South America, as close to America as possible. But the moment you're leaving the American continent, it gets a whole lot more expensive and all that. So the goal is to do 1 year in in the American continent as a whole, and 1 year outside of that continent. So that way, hopefully, we can achieve our goal. By the time my daughter is 18 and leaving the house, we would have at least done one country in every continent. I do not know about Antarctica. Do not ask me about that one. Australia too. Who? We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. All right, y'all pray for us. But anyway, honestly, this is a call to say you're here now. Don't just survive, thrive, enjoy it, immerse yourself. All right, start with your province, okay? Start with your city. Where are other parts of your city? You know, in Regina, for instance, a lot of Nigerians, I'm Nigerian Canadian, a lot of Nigerians just settle and stay in the East. I don't have a problem with that. But what I have a problem with is when you think that the whole world revolves around that. It doesn't. Go out and see other parts of the city, right? Some people don't even know what goes on in other parts of the city. It's terrible, right? So go around, drive around the city, go to, I remember those times when all we could afford to do was drive around the city. Literally, there was a point in time when that was all we could afford to do, drive around. So we'll just get in the car and we'll face the east, and we'll just circle around from one neighborhood to another, and we'll just look at houses and be like, oh my God, this is beautiful. And then maybe we might go to the north end tomorrow and we're doing the same, and we'll go to the west where we're living at the time, and we'll go around, we'll do the same. We'll go into like emerging neighborhoods and see what they have, see what options of houses are coming up. We'll do house window shopping. We will literally just go to realtor, from one realtor to another, window shopping houses that we know we're probably never gonna buy, right? But you never know. And guess what? Those things sowed seeds in our hearts. A lot of things that we do now with regards to rental investments, property investments, and all that, those were the moments that put the seeds of those things in us. So really, 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 really enjoy. You have come to Canada. Please enjoy it. All right, go to festival activities, go to restaurants, go to different places, try something you haven't tried before. Please do not talk to me about camping. I am still not open to that one. All right, I am still not open, but I will be open. I will do it. This is my motivation to myself. I should do it, and it's my motivation to you. All right, what trips have you taken around Canada? Where would you suggest that we go as a family? What's your favorite budget-friendly destination in Canada or outside? Please, if you have any travel hacks, drop it. There is nobody that has all the knowledge, all right? We're all in this together. Drop it in the comments. Let's help each other out. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with any newcomer family who needs a little nudge to explore and create their joy together. Something I forgot to talk about is having a travel buddy. All right, so we have a family that is a travel buddy, because even when you're sort of dragging your feet or you're tired, they will just sort of pull you in. All right, so if you're not a travel buddy, we also do have a YouTube channel that we formed together. So please, we're trying to build that channel. We're very busy families. It's been hard, so bear with us. We will continue to build. We have a lot of content. It's just to edit and put it on that channel. But the few and tiny that we have, the shorts that we have, please go and subscribe in that channel and watch it. All right, I will see you in the next video. Thanks for always being here. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I am begging you, please subscribe. I've been on this YouTube enough by now to hit 1 million subscribers. Yes, if I do say so myself. Thank you very much. I'm not sure I'm playing them so much tonight, but thank you very much. Have a wonderful, wonderful time.